The New York Knicks defeated the Indiana Pacers 130 to 121. I have to say, the Knicks are having the most exciting games in this playoffs. Just they're by far the most exciting team when you consider how their games are ending. They're all great thrillers. It's great to watch as a neutral fan since I have no dog in this fight. I do enjoy these competitive games that they are bringing to the table. It's definitely better than some of these other series that we've seen in both rounds. So give them kudos for that. You have to respect that. This team, I had to say, is a very likable team in the sense that they never give up. They every time something happens, you think they'll fold at that sign of adversity. Like, for example, tonight, Brunson getting injured earlier in the game, and it looked like it was a serious injury. They could have easily folded up during that stretch when he was gone for that whole entire second quarter, but they held serve. They were still in striking distance of the Pacers, and OG was stepping up in his place. OG had like 28 points in this game. I believe if he didn't get hurt, he was going to score 40. But it just shows how whenever someone goes down, there's always someone else on this team that steps up. Then Brunson comes back in the game and OG gets hurt, unfortunately, on some random hamstring injury just that came out of nowhere. Hopefully it's not serious, but I'm not optimistic about that for OG. Usually these hamstring injuries suck and they take several weeks to heal, but we'll see what happens with him going forward. Then after he went out with that injury late in the third quarter, I believe Jalen Brunson just turned up his game. He went on fire in the fourth quarter. He was like en fuego, I would say, in that situation. The Knicks also got a lot of crucial offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter when it really mattered. For some reason, the Knicks have this tendency to get these rebounds at the most crucial times, which is very underrated. I haven't seen a team like that in the playoffs that always gets their rebounds right at the right time in clutch situations like the Knicks do, but they always hustle and they never give up. So just I respect the hustle in that regard. But that was really what the fourth quarter was about. Jalen Brunson carrying them and them getting all the hustle points and beating the Pacers for the loose balls and these hustle plays. The Pacers on the other side of things, I would say Halliburton was great in the first half of this game. He had 22 points. In the second half, he was kind of really absent for most of the second half. He had 12 points, and I know it's deceptive. If you look at the box scores, you'll see 34 points, 11 of 19 shooting. But I felt in the fourth quarter, he was like relatively quiet and didn't do enough to keep his team steady during some of the Knicks runs. They really needed him to step up, and he didn't do that in those situations. So going forward, Halliburton just has to continue to improve and just lead his team to victory in Indiana. He has to play a great game from start to finish. He can't just be great in the first half and not really do anything in the second half, I would say. Now, the bright spots for the Pacers, I would say, is that their bench has still been great throughout this series. Tonight, their bench had, let's see, 46 points, while the Knicks bench only had 12 points. Again, they won the bench battle. It's just their starters that have been subpar. Obi Toppin has been great off the bench in this series. He had 20 points tonight. I would say TJ McConnell has been very underrated in this series. Whenever he's in the game, the Pacers always tend to go on runs. Like, for example, tonight they were plus 10 when he was in the game. He's also good at, I wouldn't say shutting down Brunson because he can't do it, but at times he can frustrate him and get underneath his skin the way he physically bodies him up when he's bringing the ball up the court. So he does have that effect. He's definitely a plus guy in this series and one of the bright spots the Pacers can look to. Now, it's really up to the starters to play better, I feel. Miles Turner laid an egg tonight. 6 points. That's not going to cut it. 3 of 11 shooting when he has a clear mismatch with Hartenstein. Nesmith was terrible. 2 for 7. 6 points. And Siakam was very inefficient tonight. 14 points, but on 7 to 18 shooting. Those guys all have to be better. At least produce at their regular season averages. If they had did that tonight, the Pacers could have won the game. So it'll be interesting how the Pacers adjust in Indiana. I do expect the Pacers to win both games in Indiana, with the Knicks now being banged up with all these injuries. There's really no excuses. They should win. They should win game 3 and 4, which will make game 5 a pivotal game in the series. But that's my prediction. They're gonna win the next 2 in Indiana. Plus, Rick Carlisle is lobbying for better calls from the refs, and you have to assume it's going to happen because the refs tend to always favor the home team in the playoffs historically, especially after a coach complains. But I'm looking forward to it, and hats off to Brunson for being the most clutch player in these playoffs. That's all I have to say about this.